Welcome back, everyone. We are going through the muscles in this dissection, and we're going to go through a couple different ones on each, the leg, the arm, and throughout the rest of the body. But the first place that I want to start is the leg. So you should have, hopefully, one leg still attached. And we want to start on the quadricep. So we are going to go through the muscles, and first I want you to use your scissors on this part because there is a very thin muscle that goes over the top of your quadriceps, and we're going to have to peel that back actually before we can get to the actual quadricep. So the first thing I want to do is find the different striations on the side of the leg, and what I want to try to do is get under this top layer of the muscle called the epimysium, and then go to the other side. And you don't want to use your scalpel for this because it's very easy to cut the muscles that we don't want to cut. So once I've kind of gotten under that, I can just use my finger and more of my scissors to keep getting under this fascia. To peel this top layer back. So actually the muscle that I pulled back is part of the quadricep, but it's not part of the 4 that make up the quadricep. So actually the quadricep has 5, but still called the quadricep. So this top layer that I just peeled back is called the sartorius. And also, when I'm going through this, I'm going to try and relate this back to how it is on humans as well. And I'm also going to try and tell you what each one of these muscles do. So you're going to learn in lab about adducting and abducting. So this adducting muscle is the sartorius. So the adducting is pulling our knees closer together. So pulling it inside, so taking it towards the midline of the body. And on us, we have a sartorius as well, and it's very, very thin, and it goes over the top as well, but it's a very thin muscle that goes there. And really what the adducting muscle, the sartorius muscle, does for us is it keeps our legs straight so that when we're running, our legs aren't flailing all over the place, but it's holding our legs in so that we're able to run straight, keep our legs straight. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the actual quadricep muscle. So I'm going to peel my sartorius back just a little bit more. So don't cut any of these muscles off. Leave them attached just like this so that you're able to study as we go on through the semester. So the next are the quadriceps. That's these big muscles right here, and we have 4 different muscles. We have the rectus femoris, which is this top one, which we're going to cut into first. And rectus means straight. So as we do this, you're going to see how, when I pull this back, how it's much straighter and rounder than the other muscles. Let me get a good cross section here. So I cut down to the femur once again because I want all of these muscles right here on top. So rectus femoris, what I want you to try to do is peel this muscle back. So I'm going to take my fingers and kind of just separate these muscles right here. Okay. That's a part of that one. Okay, so this is the rectus femoris. You can see that it's a lot rounder than this shape of these two outside muscles. So we have the rectus femoris, we have the sartorius. Then the next three that make up the quadriceps are going to be the vastus medialis, vastus intermedius, and vastus lateralis. So vastus medialis, let's start with that one first. Medialis, the medial side of the leg. So that's the inside muscle here. So vastus medialis. Vastus lateralis, the lateral side of the leg, the outside, that's going to be this big muscle on the outside. And then vastus intermedius. Intermedius, it's this thin muscle that lays right on top of the femur and right below the rectus femoris. So I didn't actually peel that one back, but it's this one right here that's close to my finger that lays right underneath the rectus femoris. And all four of these muscles, actually 5, all four of our quadricep muscles are going to attach at the patellar tendon. So they're going to attach here at the patella. And what these muscles do are going to extend our knee. So the next movements that you're also going to talk about are extending or flexing. So these four muscles extend the knee. While we're here as well, if hopefully you can remember from when we did the nerves, the next muscle I want to talk about is called the biceps femoris, and that was this big muscle that we peeled back to get to that sciatic nerve. So this is the rectus femoris. No, I'm sorry, not the rectus femoris. This is the rectus femoris. This is the biceps femoris, not to be mistaken with the biceps brachii, which is up here in the arm. The next muscles that I want to go over briefly while we're here still in the same leg are going to be portions of the hamstring. And it's easy to show you on the inside of this leg. So this muscle that I'm peeling back right here, this is called the gracilis. You don't need to know this one for your chest, but I still advise you to remember that this top one is the gracilis muscle. So I'm going to peel that back, and then I have the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus. So that's going to be these two muscles right here. Hopefully I can. Semitendinosus, semimembranosus. Semimembranosus is this big one right here. Semitendinosus is more towards the back of the leg. So semimembranosus is how you can remember that this one is, this membranosus is more medial than the tendinosus. So semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and this also, this muscle right up here that's an adducting muscle, you also don't have to know that one. But moving on down to the calf muscle. I'm going to flip my rabbit over here just a little bit. So the next few that we are going to go over, we have two down here in the leg. I'm going to show you the big muscle that's in your calf. So that big juicy muscle that's down here, that is called the gastrocnemius. So you can see the different strains. So, gastrocnemius, that's this big thick muscle right here, the big calf muscle on this rabbit. And then the next muscle that I want to show you is the soleus. Now the soleus runs on the outside of the leg. So here is the gastrocnemius. And then you'll have to kind of go underneath. Then this is the soleus that runs right next to it and goes down into the foot. Now the soleus is going to extend the ankle. So extend, flex, extend. The other thing that I want to show you guys is when we cut off the leg a few weeks ago to do the stifle dissection, hopefully you got a good cross section of this leg. So also go back through and identify the muscles that you can see on the other leg. So I have the sartorius, this top layer. I have the rectus femoris. There's my femur, so I have the vastus intermedius right above that. Vastus medialis. Vastus medialis. Vastus lateralis. Biceps femoris. Gracilis is on the outside. Semimembranosus. And semitendinosus is right underneath. Now, those are our leg muscles. So we're going to move up the body, and I want to show you a couple more muscles. Okay, so hopefully, it may be hard to see in this video, but hopefully when you guys get your rabbits out in class, you'll be able to see the different striation of these muscles. So that's really how I'm able to tell the difference in them. So this first one, I'm going to kind of close up my rabbit right here, is rectus abdominis. So that's our ab muscles. That's when we talk about a 6-pack or an 8-pack, which I don't think my rabbit has, but rectus abdominis is right here in the middle. And then on our sides, you have the oblique muscles. So I can definitely see a color change between the rectus abdominis and these oblique muscles over here on the side. And these oblique muscles are used for twisting. Obviously, rectus abdominis are used for posture and things like that. And then also when I'm moving up the rabbits, we have ascending pectoralis, and the rabbit's ascending pectoralis muscles are going to be a lot bigger and more prominent than what we have in people because they're four-legged animals. So these muscles are going to help them when they're running 4 legs. Also, I'll show those in a minute. So we have ascending pectoralis, and then we have the pectoralis major, which are these 2 muscles, which are this muscle is what we cut through when we cut through the sternum of the rabbit to do that first dissection. So that's up here. Hopefully you can see the difference. This one's coming almost across the body this way. The pectoralis major is coming this way. And then when I'm up in the arm, we have our biceps brachii. Biceps meaning 2 heads to the muscle. Bottom of the arm, we have triceps brachii, meaning we have 3 heads to that muscle. And then I want to turn my rabbit over. And the first one I want to start with is the latissimus dorsi. So hopefully you can see the difference between here and this muscle right here. So this is the latissimus dorsi. That's kind of on us, it's kind of in the armpit. And then we have the longissimus dorsi, which is running along the spine And really what that does is helps you with posture. Latissimus dorsi is abducting the arm. And then I'm going to keep going on the back side. And we have the next muscle I'm going to show you is the trapezius. So trapezius, hopefully that trapezium, kind of like a triangle. And that's exactly what it is. It is a triangular shaped muscle. So you can see it coming up into the neck. And what this does is really holds your head up. And it also, good way to remember this is if you ask someone, what does the trapezius do? And you go, I don't know. And it pulls that muscle, pulls the arm up towards the head. So pulls the shoulders upwards. So that's the trapezius muscle. And then I kind of had to cut the trapezius back a little bit so that you could see the deltoid. So this is the deltoid muscle. And that comes over the top of the shoulder. So right here's my point of the shoulder. And that deltoid is right on top. Okay, so I went through these pretty quickly. Hopefully in lab you'll be able to see the different striations. You're gonna have to clear away probably a lot of fat on the rabbit to be able to see, but don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to do that. And then I want to talk about a few muscles that are on the face as well. So we have the masseter muscle, that's that big muscle in the cheek that is going to help with chewing, obviously. And then we have the temporal, which is also up here in the head as well. And these two muscles are used for clenching your jaw. And that's why we see in like German Shepherds, that's why they have such a big jaw, is because of that clenching force that they have. And the last one that I want to talk about that goes along with the masseter and the temporal, so what opens the jaw is called the sternomastoid. And actually this muscle comes down out of the cheek and attaches at the sternum. And this muscle is very weak. That's why in animals such as alligators, we're able to hold their jaws shut. Because the sternomastoid is so weak, they are unable to open their jaw when force is applied. So that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you in lab this week. Please bring questions with you, and the TAs and I will be happy to answer them for you. Good luck on your pre-lab quiz, and I'll see you this week.